What's up everybody, it's the Gaming Goji, and in this video we have a lot to talk about because not only am I sick, yeah, as you could probably notice, I am feeling a little sick. It's been really annoying these past 3 days. But we also got a lot of drama happening in the Dragon Prince fandom recently, especially because there has been a lot of leaks literally just surging through. It's like there's like a river. All the leaks are just going through the river, coming to us fans, and the creators are really mad about it. But I'll of course deliver all the news in this video. Also, there's some new episode titles to talk about. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into all the updates. Okay, so let's start the video off from a recent tweet by aaravos, where he addresses all of the leaks, how he feels about all the leaks that have been just surging out into the fandom recently. There's been a lot of leaks from episode titles, track titles, and you know we don't really care about leaks. We're gonna cover it anyway. So, but I first want to like give you the Aaron's perspective, the creator's perspective on all of this, at least from aaravos, who we've interviewed on the channel. So there's nothing new here. He's been mad about leaks in the past as well. So yeah. Anyway, he made a tweet saying, and I quote, "So many leaks this season. Trailer, images, track titles, episode titles. What does it mean that no one seems able to understand or don't care? To honor the dates, they are supposed to hold confidential info." Now, about what Aaron said here, I feel like, yeah, at this, even if I think that they should be doing a better job at promoting the season, maybe it is bad that Netflix is sort of just pushing out all this stuff out of their favor, because they are, after all, the creators of the show. Even if we do want more promotional material, they are the creators of the show, so they should probably be getting most of the promotional stuff. But I feel like there is like a thing where you can just not let Netflix do that. So that's why it's really like frustrating for them, at least. So I kind of can see their perspective on this, but I do think that they should start actually promoting the show well enough that we can get hyped, you know? I mean, if you're not gonna post anything about your show, if you're not gonna promote it, then I can kind of see why Netflix is doing this. They want to build hype for the Dragon Prince, and I guess leaking the episode titles, like literally all the episode titles, can be bad, but like they have to hype us up at some point. That the season is like, it's like right now, like it's coming in just like 10 days as of this recording. So I feel like they should do a better job at promoting the show, but at the same time, this is against their wishes and they are the creators, so I can kind of see their perspective on this. But moving off of this, now we're gonna get into some of the actual leaked stuff, because of course we don't care. We're gonna literally just discuss all the leaks. Okay, so the first thing we're going to be talking about is, of course, the episode title reveals. Now, we have finally, after so long, got the official reveals of every single episode of Season 7 of The Dragon Prince, and this is one of the leaks that was, of course, put out by Netflix. As if you know, right here on the screen, I'll show you, along with like the official graphic, I'll show you the leaked tweet as well. And yeah, Netflix leaked it, so that's great. But TDPO, Dragon Prince official account, officially posted it, so I'll just use that instead of the leak. So yeah, here are the episode titles. Chapter 1 is going to be called Death Alive, which of course we know from NYCC. Chapter 2 is True Heart, which we've known for a long time actually, because of that Aaron interview that someone did in September. So we already knew that there would be an episode called True Heart somewhere and I'm kind of surprised it's happening really early in the season. This is of course the episode where we're going to learn a lot more about Terry, I guess. And we get a lot of Terry in this episode, so I'm excited to learn more about that character. Chapter 3, The Glittering Bones. Chapter 4, Unfinished Business. Chapter 5, Sticky Fingers, which we'll be talking about a little bit because there's been a lot of confusion about that episode. Chapter 6, Inversion. Chapter 7, The Titan and the King. Chapter 8, Dying Light. And the finale episode is going to be called Nova, which is a really cool title to end off the show here. So let's talk about Chapter 5 here. Now, a lot of people have been memeing this episode, Sticky Fingers, because it's kind of weird, right? I mean, we have all these serious titles. We have Titan and the King, Dying Light, but then we have Sticky Fingers. Now I'm guessing this is just gonna be like a joke in the season, I guess, and they're just gonna plop it right in the middle, smack middle of the season. So yeah, that's there. But the episode that I really let's just preface this. Let's go through each episode and make some theories. So in chapter 1, Death Alive, I already saw that early, so we can skip that. Chapter 2, True Heart, is we're gonna learn more about Terry. We're probably gonna get that Banter Lodge scene where Ezrin confronts Runan again, because they're of course gonna be hunting him down. Like, they're gonna hunt him down, which is kind of dumb. And aaravos is out, so why do you really care about Runan? But they're gonna be hunting him down. Chapter 3, The Glittering Bones. Now, the only thing I can really think about is Solregem's bones and how they're probably gonna be important in this episode. And I also think that this is where we're gonna learn more about Solregem's mate. I mean, it's already confirmed that we will learn about that mate and probably get flashbacks of Solregem's mate in season 7. This is probably where the episode where that's gonna happen. Now, chapter 4, Unfinished Business, is when I think Rayla is gonna get unghosted and is going to confront her past colleagues, I guess, in like assassins, her fellow assassins that she of course betrayed. Chapter 5, Sticky Fingers. The only thing I can think of right here is that scene from the trailer where they're in this amber cave. It's probably gonna be a running joke in that episode that they're gonna get, it's probably some kind of sticky substance. They're probably just gonna harness that energy to shoot those arrows, I guess, at aaravos. So this is where that's gonna happen. Chapter 6, Inversion, is of course, it's obviously where aaravos is going to release the dead back into the world. That's pretty obvious. Chapter 7, The Titan and the King. When I first heard this title, I had a very outlandish theory that this had something to do with the Void Dragon, because of course, as you know, the Void Dragon tale is that a king wanted their wish to be fulfilled, but of course they're forgotten, and this was of course the wish that they were trying to wish from was a Void Dragon bone. So I thought that had something to do with it, because Titan, Void Dragon, King, but I don't think it has anything to do with that. It probably has something to do with something else. We'll see what happens in that episode. Then chapter 8, Dying Light. The only thing I can think of here is that this is where aaravos gets his revenge on the Cosmic Council, like the literal star shelves that killed Leola. So this is probably where that's gonna happen, hence the name Dying Light, because this is where he causes all the stars to go dark. This is probably where the eternal night happens. And then chapter 9, Nova. Now, there's a lot of interesting things that's gonna happen in this episode based off of the track titles, which we are gonna cover in a moment here. So we're gonna hang on some theories for this episode for a little bit. So yeah, those are all the episode titles. Let me know which one is your favorite. These are getting me pretty hyped. I really like these episode titles. They're really good. I like how they named them. Okay, so now let's move on to the track titles, and this is where I want to say spoiler alert, because there's gonna be a lot of spoilers here that you probably don't want to continue watching, but if you do and you want to see all the spoilers, then let's get right into it. Okay, so let's get into the official track titles that were leaked. Along with amidst all of these leaks, this is one of the most prominent leaks that were put out there, and it's the people are not happy about this being leaked, but we're gonna be going over it right now. So let's do it, because there's a lot of interesting titles. And again, I will give you a spoiler warning before we start, so here's another spoiler warning. So yeah, let's go order by order what I've picked out of these track titles. So let's go over the first really interesting one. So the first interesting one was that there was actually a soundtrack title called The Orphan Queen. Now, okay, right off the bat, that is extremely spoilery. That is very spoilery, because it looks like we are going to be learning more about the Orphan Queen in this season. And I think we will learn more about this lore toward the end of the season, because this is probably toward the end. These are all like the soundtracks toward the end of season 7. So yeah, we're probably going to learn about the Orphan Queen. But the interesting thing is that it also has a subtitle called An Old Friend. So it's called The Orphan Queen / An Old Friend. Now, that's definitely referring to some aaravos Orphan Queen connections there. So yeah, there's gonna be some lore explained about that, and that was kind of foreshadowed in episode 1, where we saw aaravos holding the apple. Whether it was to do something bad or not, he was still holding that apple, and there's been a theory going around that the Orphan Queen was the one that gave aaravos an apple as a gift. And that's of course what's sort of implied in his birthday post. So yeah, it's kind of foreshadowed. I already knew that we would learn some more of this lore, whether it be a lot or not. I mean, this soundtrack is literally 4 minutes long, so I think we're gonna be getting a lot of Orphan Queen lore, which is really cool. So yeah, we're gonna be getting that in season 7. There's also one called Eternal Night, and this is when I think that the Cosmic Council is going to die. But there's also another track title called When a Star Dies, and that's probably where Aaravos is gonna explain, or maybe literally kill the Star Council by, as my ongoing theory right now, by using a Star Devourer dragon, which is not gonna be a really pleasant death if my theory is true. But I will discuss that Star Dragon theory in a later video. It's a pretty big deal theory. It's really there's a lot of stuff to it. So I will be discussing that theory in another video. But this is where these two soundtrack titles is where I think Aaravos is gonna get his revenge on the Cosmic Council. So yeah, then yet again, some more stuff from the end of season 7. This is probably gonna happen in episode 8. And there's also another soundtrack title called For Zadia and Battle of the Sunforge. And this is when I of course think that they're going to be battling Aaravos. This is probably one of the big battles in the season, because as we know in the trailer, there's actually a scene where they're at the Sunforge, and remember that promotional image of Aaravos holding like that orb, that black orb, the blackish orb. It's kind of like light colored as well. When he's holding that orb, the setting also seems like it's in the Sunforge. It's that same kind of environment. So there's gonna be a big battle. This may even be the final battle of the season. So yeah, this is gonna be a big battle. And if the soundtrack of Battle of the Sunforge is toward the end of the season, I think this is where the final battle with Aaravos is happening. There's also a soundtrack title called the Nova Blade, which is very interesting. I mean, we're gonna see the return of this sword, and we know the Nova Blade can kill the mortal vessel of a star shelf. So it's gonna be interesting how that plays out. I hope they don't actually use the Nova Blade to kill Aaravos, because as we know, literally episode 9 is called Nova, unless they find a way to permanently kill him, or they just don't kill him at all. So we'll see what happens with that. There's also a soundtrack called Brothers. Now I'm thinking this is something to do with I guess Callum and Ezran kind of dynamic here. That's probably what that is. There's also one called this is where we get into some big spoilers. So if you want to click off, do it now, because these next few track titles I'm about to talk about, yeah, a lot of spoilers. So this next track title is literally called I Miss Her / Forgiveness. Now okay, this could be anything, but as we get into the other soundtrack titles that are sort of surrounding this one, we can see that one is called Starlit Serenade, and the last soundtrack title called Leola's Last Wish. Now we know from my interview for season 6 and 7 with Justin and Aaron, Justin did clarify, and Aaron of course did clarify, that we will learn more about Leola's Last Wish, that sort of concept, in season 7. And this is when I think we're gonna learn it. We're gonna learn about that in the finale. A lot of people have been theorizing that this is where Leola actually gets revived by Aaravos or something, whatever it is. So yeah, I think we're gonna learn what Leola's last wish was, and that soundtrack title, I Miss Her / Forgiveness, could have something to do with Aaravos and Leola. Maybe they're gonna forgive Aaravos. Maybe Aaravos explains Leola's past, or his past with Leola, to the dragon, and there's gonna be some kind of forgiveness there. And maybe in turn they kill Aaravos with that Nova Blade and let him die for only like a few years, just so he can face his like consequences, I guess, and just come back as a new changed person. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. This could literally be in any context. There's also one called Starlit Serenade, which I really don't know. It's probably, the Serenade is like a large show, right? Like a light show. So maybe there's gonna be a really cool scene in episode 9. This is hinting towards some really cool scenes. There's really cool shots, this stuff in episode 9. Maybe we're gonna get this huge shot of like a bunch of stars glittering. I don't know. There's also one called This Changes Everything. So that's also why I think we're gonna learn more about Aaravos. Kind of. It's gonna be like a half redemption. But I don't know. I feel like that's going too far. Anyway, that's all the that's all of the track titles covered right here. And yeah, a lot of spoilers. Let's move on to the next thing. Okay, so next up, we're gonna be covering the official promotional stills that were leaked by Real James on YouTube, but really just put out there by Netflix Press. So here, the first image we have is of Claudia in her new dragon armor suit, and this is of course because of the necklace, like we've discussed in our trailer breakdown. Make sure to check that out after this, because we discussed that this dragon steel necklace that is apparently connected to Laurelion, according to Aaron Ehas, is going to be giving Claudia this new dragon armor suit, or that's how it appears right here. And this is its full form. I mean, in the trailer we just saw Claudia getting the dragon scales. Here we can see her turning into like an actual dragon. So I don't know if it's gonna be like a process where she has to go through in order to get to like being a full dragon. Maybe this slowly turns into a full-on dragon, we're gonna be seeing Claudia dragon form. I don't know, but this form is looking really cool, and I can't wait to see more of it in action in season 7. But this image actually does connect to another Netflix press promotional still, because if you look at the sky color, it actually matches with that promotional still of aaravos holding that black orb. So that's really interesting, that that connection there. But I don't really think they are connected. I think this is Claudia's battle with Callum at Akiyu's cave. And I think the other promotional still is probably at the Sunforge. So I don't know. This image looks really cool though. I can't wait to see the full entire form, and yeah, you're gonna be getting some big Claudia action in season 7. This next image shows human aaravos. Yes, we're gonna talk about that in a little bit. Claudia and Terry walking in some sort of foggy environment in a forest. And immediately I already know where this is, and this is probably in the Garden of Innocence, which is of course where aaravos is leading these two in order to get a unicorn horn or whatever part of the unicorn they need to make a moon primal stone, so that aaravos can carry out his plan of inverting the dead and the living. So yeah, this is them probably arriving at the Garden of Innocence, and right here we can actually see human aaravos. And like I've talked about in my NYCC breakdown video, where I talked about my journey to NYCC and broke down episode 1, I talk about human aaravos. So here he is in the flesh, and he's also been in the trailer. So yeah, this is really cool. Another look at him. We see Claudia with the new corrupted sun staff that's now been, I guess, implanted into Viren's staff, so that's great. In episode 1, aaravos does fuse the two staffs together, so here it is right here. And Terry, so Terry is still gonna be with them, and I'm predicting that this is probably gonna happen in episode 3. Eugene Ramos, I think, is one of the writers for the Dragon Prince. They actually posted a image of an episode they've been working on, and that is the Glittering Bones, episode 3 of season 7. And they've included unicorns along with all the other emojis. It's like a skeleton and everything. And they've said that there's gonna be some pretty lore. This is gonna be a pretty lore-based episode, so I cannot wait for the lore. But the unicorns also tell me that this is probably happening in episode 3, because they're of course arriving at the Garden of the Innocence, and that's where the unicorns are held. So yeah, there's that image. Nothing really to break down here. You can also see aaravos' kind of staff thingy that he has, so that's cool. Probably just made that out of some like wood or something, some twigs. And he's eventually gonna put that moon primal stone in there. So yeah. Next up, we have an image of Ithari, and this, of course, Ithari is returning in season 7, and we of course see Ithari in episode 1, and I believe this image is from episode 1, and I can kind of confirm if my memory is correct if this is from episode 1, but I think it is. And this is Ithari, of course, mourning the supposed death of Runan. I'm not telling you that Runan dies in episode 1. Of course he's alive, but Ithari doesn't know that, right? So yeah, this is Ithari being all sad and everything. So yeah, there's nothing really to break down. They're in the Silver Grove. There's another Moonshadow Elf here. We don't know what this Moonshadow Elf's name is, but I guess we'll figure out in season 7 at some point. But yeah, this is just nothing really else to break down. And they're in the Silver Grove, Ithari episode 1. Can't wait to see more of Ithari again, of course, with the new design here. So yeah, there it is. Ithari's back. Next up, we have this image of aaravos from episode 1 with an evil smile on his face, and of course this takes place right after he breaks out of prison, or at least Claudia breaks him out of prison, and is talking about, well, let me give some more context to the scene. He actually does give a speech about what his whole plan is to wipe out the dragons and the elves in this very scene. So yeah, this is gonna be a big scene for season 7, and of course it's the opener scene, so I cannot wait to see it in HD. Here he is looking, I've said this 100 times, he looked really saturated in episode 1 in this very scene, but here he doesn't look too saturated. Okay, maybe just the NYCC projector lighting, but yeah, here he is with his evil smile. Nothing really to break down here. I guess we can move on. Okay, next up, I don't think I'm really gonna cover the other 2 images because they're pretty boring. It's just Ezra on the throne and just Callum crying in episode 1, and I've really basically just went over the context of those images in my NYCC video, but I just want to quickly cover this poster that just dropped on the Dragon Prince official accounts, showing Ezra. And I know there's another one of the entire Dragon group except for like Callum and Rayla, but most of the Dragon group. And here, yeah, we can see Ezra, and he's really angry, of course. Katash just got destroyed, but the real interesting thing in this image is that he actually is holding the Nova Blade. And where could he got the Nova Blade? Well, he probably got it from the ruins of Catullus. And this actually dates back to my interview a little bit, where we talked about the Nova Blade and its potential location being in Catullus. And I think we were correct, because he literally is holding it right now. So here it is, the official Nova Blade design. It has like a little fire ruby here. There's a lot going on in this poster. But yeah, he has a Nova Blade, and we of course know that the Nova Blade was used to kill Aurelion, which is the starter shelf from 400 years ago that the Orphan Queen used. And of course, we're gonna be getting some more Orphan Queen lore, as I've discussed in the track tiles from earlier in this video. So yeah, here it is, the Nova Blade. But also, we can also see in the other characters, Soren looks really sad there. But next to Soren, we can actually see Corvus, and he's holding his chains. You know, he carries around his chains to, like, I guess, kill people. But these chains now, they actually have blood on them. So that's very interesting. I don't know if he killed Runan. Is Runan dead? No, he's probably not. Yeah, there it is. He has blood on the chains, so we don't know who he killed. This came with the caption, Blood and Ash. That's really it. So yeah, there it is. There's a new poster. And I think that's gonna do it for this video. That's everything that's just been leaked. And some fans have been calling this leak week, which is just really funny to me. Because it literally is. It's literally just leak week. Everything just got leaked, just put out there. So yeah, there it is. Everything covered for you guys. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Only like, what, a few days until season 7 by the time of me uploading this? Yeah, we are approaching season 7 really fast. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.